The sun was rising and the sky was a paint pot of pink and purple as the farmer went outside to feed the animals. The cockerel had woken just moments before, and he was still crowing when the farmer stepped into her wellies. They went squelch, squelch, squelch in the mud as the farmer made her way to the yard. There, she went into the food shed, where she stored all of the animal feed separately. She kept the shed locked up with a special bright green key, which she kept safe on a set of keys that hung round her neck. Each key had a different coloured tag, so she could find the right one quickly. The farm cat, who was white with patches of ginger, followed her inside. She twisted in and out of the farmer's legs like a snake as the farmer shut the door behind them. "Stop it, Dorothy," said the farmer in a huff. She hadn't slept well at all last night. The winds had howled, and the branches of the tree outside her window had tap-tap-tapped against the glass. "I'm not in the mood for you today." The cat paused, looked up, and meowed sweetly. Sighing, the farmer laid out the cat's food in her special bowl, along with a fresh drink of water. "Now, you take your time with that," the farmer said, "and let me collect everyone else's food in peace." First, the farmer prepared a mix of grain and corn for the chickens. The kernels clattered into the bucket. Next, she separated the hay and fruit for the horse. She would feed him twice. Then she piled together the vegetables for the piglets. They slipped into the bucket with a slop. And after that, she gathered what she needed for the sheep and the cow. Finally, the farmer was ready to start feeding all of the animals. But before she could carry the buckets of food out of the shed, she heard the cat screech, then hiss, followed by the sound of lots of pieces of wood collapsing on top of one another. "What is going on?" said the farmer, turning round. What she saw made her gasp. The shed was a mess. There were little mountains of animal feed everywhere, all mixed together. Spare buckets that had been knocked sideways were rolling around, and the broom, shovel, and spade had fallen on top of each other. And right in the middle of it all was Dorothy the cat, looking very guilty, her ears pressed back in shame. "Dorothy!" yelled the farmer, grabbing the broom. "Shoo! Get out!" She ushered Dorothy out of the shed with the broom, then shut the door behind her. "It's going to take ages to clean this mess up," said the farmer sadly. She wouldn't be getting her own breakfast until she'd fed all of the animals. The morning ahead seemed impossibly long. The farmer set to work cleaning up as best as she could. She swept up all of the food with her broom. She rolled up the bags of feed so they were close tight, and she returned all of the buckets and tools to where they belonged. When the farmer finally locked up the shed, she checked it twice to make sure the cat couldn't get inside again. Then she headed out to feed the farm animals. First, she made her way to the chicken coop. The hens were awake, clucking over one another, their heads bobbing. The farmer scattered their food for them, and they hopped over one another in a fight to eat first. Chicken feathers fluttered all around, landing softly on the ground. The cockerel waltzed over proudly while the farmer was busy collecting the eggs for the day. She counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eggs. That should make a delicious breakfast and a cake. The cockerel crowed, reminding the farmer that it was his turn to eat. The farmer smiled down at him and scattered some grains and corn on the ground. "Now," said the farmer, settling down on a hay bale, "what story have you got for me this morning?" The cockerel bobbed his head, pecking the ground until he had eaten every last kernel of corn and every speck of grain. Only when he was done did he look the farmer in the eye. The hens stopped clucking and the chicken coop fell silent as the cockerel began to tell his story.